Luciano is going to jump in and share your presentation. Are you ready, Luciano?
Yeah. Hi everyone.
Hi.
Thanks for having me here with my girlfriend Caroline, my partner in adventures. Can you see my screen?
Yes, you're all good.
So, well, I'm gonna quickly introduce myself and tell you how I got into conservation, because it's not my background really. Around 5 years ago, we bought a camper van and we decided to explore what's behind that, really, what's beyond human culture, and we drove from Europe to Mongolia. And there's been 5 years of adventures in really remote landscapes. And since then, we started meeting the local populations that share environments and habitats with endangered species. And one day we encountered a snow leopard in the wild while driving up the mountains to the border with China in Kyrgyzstan. And that made an incredible transformative experience for us. That really made us take a life decision to protect these endangered species and work, put our time and effort towards protecting these animals in the wild. So since then, well, a lot of things happen, and we got involved in voluntary projects around the country, intuitively meeting people in the countryside and the nomads, and try to help them in whatever way we could, completely voluntarily. And at some point we met the WILDLABS.NET Nature Reserve, which is the first community-based nature reserve in Kyrgyzstan. So it's a group of literally ex-hunters and farmers that decided to protect this area. And by chance, I discovered that they have the highest population of wild snow leopards in the world per square kilometer by just installing a few camera traps. Then the WWF Russia came to do a study a little bit more than a year ago and discovered there were 11 snow leopards recorded in the reserve, which put us in second position in the world after Chat in Kyrgyzstan as well. So this place is a real treasure and needs a lot of attention. And so with Caroline, we always live in the countryside and in the wild. In a while, we never really park our van or live in the cities. We decided to go and offer them to live with them, with the local community, and support the project full-time, completely voluntarily. So since then, we've been living with them at the base of the reserve. And this, as I said before, is it's a treasure of nature, this place. And this is some of the footage that they showed me the first time, from just casually. I mean, they know the mountain really well, but there were not many cameras deployed, and the cameras that were deployed in the mountains show just an incredible wildlife. And this cultivated me completely, because I come from art, technology, and design background, and photography and documentation as well. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna do my best to show the world this incredible place and try to bring resources there, by my own means, to try to deploy creative ideas into this nature reserve, and try to protect these animals the best as I can, really. So quickly, when I went up to get the camera trap footage with them, I realized the main challenge was not to install more cameras, but to find a system that was a bit more centralized than just having to locate each camera trap and then having to get the SD cards and change the batteries, as it takes just for one trek 6 hours to get to those altitudes to check just one group of cameras. We're talking about 3,800 meters of altitude where the cameras are located. And going there is really a mission, really. You can see here what we had to do to reach some of the cameras in winter. And so it makes it quite complex to get the data from from the camera traps, and in practical sense, it's a big effort just to change some batteries and SD cards, really. You risk your life sometimes. If you have an injury, you have a problem up in the mountains there, it will be no time until it gets too dark to temperatures to go to -40 degrees, and you will not be able to make it through the night. So, and my challenge now is to come up with a system where we could, instead of reach individual cameras, we could have all the information sent to a server or one place in where it's of easy access, and then from there retrieve all the information that's been taken from the cameras. So I discovered that there were 3 boxes in the reserve that originally was part of a project intended to wildlife photography. So these photo hunting boxes were already installed there, but they never been used with that intention. But I thought it was a great starting point for me to have this kind of like insulated box base in where I can install a lot of equipment and have solar panels, have a server being run there, and put the point-to-point link antennas and the batteries and the computer servers, and from where I can collect all the information from the cameras around. So how they see this working is like you have a box with a server and then point-to-point link to one device called Mesh++, which creates a network of 300 meters around of Wi-Fi. And then within those 300 meters, I can just set Wi-Fi cameras everywhere I want. And then this mesh could extend if you put another of these mesh devices at less than 300 meters from that one, then it takes 300 meters more, and like that, you can kind of create a network in where area of the reserve you want to map, and then have the freedom of locating the cameras on the animal path as you prefer. Then all the information will be collected in this box, and then in that server, and ideally, that's already much better than what we have now, so we don't have to reach each individual camera. And in the future also, it could be that if we can store enough power with the solar panels there, we can have then the information being sent to the house of one of the shepherds nearby. So eventually we won't need to even go to that box in the center of the valley within the reserve. So we could centralize and get access to all the footage, we'll say even in real time. And how I see it happening is maybe using a system that is being already used for CCTV cameras. That's quite advanced, and the video recorders work really well. So I'm not really technical, that's why I need help from the community with, but I'm tempted to prefer to use one brand for the whole thing. So this Ubiquiti brand seems quite advanced for CCTV systems and security cameras. Maybe they have also produced their antennas, point-to-point links, and all devices I need for the whole system. I'm exploring now ways of using normal CCTV cameras with infrared sensors and motion sensors to avoid using the normal traditional camera traps that I don't feel like confident with when we're talking about Wi-Fi connection. So there's a point where I'm now and where I have mostly one brand to the whole idea within one system that is completely automated. And then I have this Mesh++ thing, which is what provides the mesh network where the cameras are going to be connected to. So here you can see that dot in the middle will be this box with a server. From there, with a point-to-point link, I'm going to target one of those circles, blue circles, which is the first mesh, and that connects to the server in the box. And then if you locate one of those meshes nearby, then you can kind of like extend the network of Wi-Fi along different areas of the animal path where we want to locate the cameras. So this will be really beneficial for us because it's not only that having everything in one place is great for retrieving the information. Also, if we can use a cloud system after and even artificial intelligence to sort the footage, then we can automate the whole process of storing this information. That at the moment is a little bit tricky because the rangers and the local community are people that not have much expertise with technology. So, for example, no one knows how to use a computer, do a backup and all of that. So I think it would be great if I build a system that kind of like runs on its own, and then we don't need to depend so much of local expertise to get a level of, like access to information or professionalism that we expect from this. So with technology, finding ways around limitations on that mostly the local team, like imposes in a way, to streamline the way we understand data and how we can somehow share this information with universities, research and scientific institutions, so we can somehow create conservation hub, technology conservation hub of Barbados Nature Reserve for scientists around the world to interpret and help us take better decisions from our system. So that's the challenge for me with this, and I will be really grateful to hear from people that have experience using CCTV cameras as an alternative camera traps, or experience with this type of like antenna, like long range antenna connections in such environments. This is not being done at all in the Snow Leopard range, and I don't know of any nature reserves that have such a system. So I think it could be a good opportunity to come up with something that works for the countries of Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Mongolia, Kazakhstan, the whole Snow Leopard range, and that could be, if it's successful, can be replicated to other nature reserves as well, because this is an issue that everyone working in conservation in such environments and high altitudes, is struggling with at the moment.
Great, thank you so much, Luciano. That was a wonderful presentation. You got lots of interesting comments and suggestions in the chat. We might have time to follow up on with some of those in the after hours if anyone has time to stick around.